Rachel Dratch.
I was going to go with that. The thing you do not say when Rachel Dratch is going to be your guest. You don't say, "Oh, Dratch."
Yeah,
you say, "Rachel Dratch."
She's so cool. Rachel, everyone loves her on the show. She's always a score machine. She's got funniness. Someone's yelling at me.
You're being yelled at?
At the side, they're going, up the energy. You're fucking bombing.
I'll compensate.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Did you see that little machine?
They act like we're the morning zoo crew.
Rachel makes me happy. Mm-hmm. I loved our podcast with her. Mm-hmm. And, Debbie Downer, we go through all that, how it came about, all of her great sketches. Mm-hmm. She's just truly one of, I know it's a cliche, but it's true, organically funny people we've ever had on our podcast. And we've had a lot of funny people. And so sweet.
I met her early on. She did a thing in Dickie Roberts, that old movie. Oh, a couple people remember? Thank you. Add applause. And
did she get to wear clothes in that scene?
She was very funny. She's always like scoring in Adam's movies. Wherever you throw her, she gets a laugh. Any sketch, she gets a laugh.
Mm-hmm. She's a super pro. And she's like a just hyper real person. Like there was no edge to her that you're Rachel Dratch. I think we talked to her about that. Just people coming up to her like she used to be in awe of people. And
this just came to me. She was nervous about meeting hosts. She's very shy. She doesn't seem like it. I'm shy too.
Are you wearing an earpiece because you're especially witty today? Is someone feeding you lines? Because it just came to me.
It just came to me. No, I have a gift no one wants.
But we talk about with her a lot of SNL stuff and the phenomenon of just meeting someone who's way more famous than you and then going through a week of this huge experience they're going to have and how nerve-wracking it is when you first meet like a Sharon Stone or whoever when you're a cast member. So it's very sweet.
And on a side note, this is the coat I talked about my Netflix special that cost me so much where they said you can't wear it really outside. This is because it's a puffer with leather, and they go, ultimately, don't wear it in snow, rain, wind, clouds. I'm just going to tell you because people are freaking out about this coat. They can't focus on what we're saying.
Wait a minute, David. I'm not trying to get us to start a company, but the ultimate puffer, if you ever want to go in on a jacket thing, you just said it. You heard it here. Mm-hmm. This is live. The ultimate puffer, we put them out. They're kind of funny from the Fly on the Wall guys. Yeah. I'm just trying to monetize.
We could have merch.
I want to be Ryan Reynolds a little bit. Hi, Ryan.
We could make money because this was $30,000. So...
Well, the ultimate puffer,
we make it for 30,
this is the world's
80.
greatest leather jacket. I've called this for 20 years. Yeah. I bought it at Barney's, and there's no leather jacket in the world as good as this one.
None.
We're starting to sell merch right now. All ultimate right. Leather jacket, puffer what?
The perfect puffer.
The perfect puffer.
And here's Rachel Dratch. That's good.
That part's not going to be my start, is it?
I don't know. I don't know. It could be.
Hi.
Hey, you guys. It's Rachel Dratch.
Woo! Sometimes you're a whiz. There's people who take like 20, 25 minutes to get on this thing. I once took an hour and a half. And then David just hosted the show. Rachel.
Tom Hanks still isn't on.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited to be here and see you guys.
That's more like the attitude we're looking for. We like that. We've had a lot of your friends on, Rachel.
I know. I've been listening.
Oh, you have?
A lot of, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, I love it.
Okay, well.
It's like a support group and fun.
It is. It is. We are alumni of this incredibly bizarre, wonderfully bizarre experience called Saturday Night Live.
You know, what's funny is that, Dana, it's like a support group in the way that you can't really complain to outside people about Saturday Night Live because they're so happy you're on it and they can't believe you're on it. So if you have micro complaints, no one wants to hear them. It's like if you do a movie, you can never say, "Hey, to get up early." They go, "You're in a movie," and you go, "Oh, yeah, you're right."
And they have a point.
So it is point. So, but with other people in a movie or other people on SNL, you can kind of whisper, "I can't believe they brought us in an hour early today." And they go, "Yeah, me too." and then they understand, you know.
They cut the best part. The best part. They cut it. God damn
well, that's all day. That's all day when you look at the rundown. This shit got on?
Our set is under the bleachers. We're so far away from the audience, we had to cut our entrance. I hate this show. But enough about week one.
No, I'll tell Rachel a story, then she'll talk toward the end.
We don't like our guests to talk very much.
I know. I know.
We like
she knows. So sickening.
No, because you guys say it. No, because you guys say that all
Okay,
the time.
good. Because
it's not really true.
it's
no,
more
that's
like
your thing that you say
dinner
Yeah.
where we all talk to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it doesn't stress.
Which is good. It takes the pressure
Right.
out.
We don't want to stress you out. Like
it's a
Rachel.
conversation.
It's a conversation.
Yeah, you don't want to talk.
That's what we've been trying to tell the production company.
No, this is so embarrassing, but I couldn't sleep last night because I was all like, I don't know, like Christmas morning about doing this. Like, I don't know. I had
we're flattered.
Kind of fun anxiety, but just I was like, oh my God, I'm doing that tomorrow. And then I couldn't sleep.
Well,
so anyway.
we're going to put your feet to the fire.
I don't sleep a lot of nights, so it's not a big deal. My mind goes crazy at night. And I didn't sleep very well last night because I knew I'd be seeing you this morning.
Okay.
So, and then
All right.
I dreamed about you. No, it's totally normal. It's kind of a smash. We're sort of a global hit, so it's appropriate to be nervous. David, say your thing, and then we'll let Rachel talk.
I forgot my thing.
What? You forgot your statement?
No, I forgot. But I will tell Rachel just to relax her
liked where you were.
that
Yes.
one of my stories about SNL that it just shows you how it screws with you is in a good way. Is that one time I was doing Coneheads applause. Oh my God, a couple people in the back saw it. So I was.
Why did they call them Coneheads? I never got the connection.
Dana?
Is because their heads were shaped like cones?
I don't think that's it.
Okay. All right. So you're in Coneheads.
So I'm in Coneheads and the movie. They go, the sketch did well. Do you want to be in a movie that won't work as well? And I said, yes, of course. So I had a pickup shot, which was good because I tested okay. And they go, Lauren goes, we're going to add a scene with you, which is good news. You know, I said, oh, okay. So it's during a show week, which is bad news. So Rachel knows the drill. You have a read through on Wednesday. So after read through, Friday morning, I had to fly to do. So what happened after read through? I took a red eye. And they go, you're going to fly to LA. This is such a fucking long story. I'm sorry, Rachel.
How does it relate to?
It's okay.
It doesn't at all. It just shows. Actually,
okay.
I'll save it because it's so dumb. Because everyone's going to yell at me. But I just thought I'd settle Rachel in by saying we all have our pros and cons of being on SNL. And most are cons, obviously, but there's some that are harder.
I had pros, but I'll just say this as an overarching word package for you to digest.
Yeah.
Show business in general is an emotionally violent sport. Mm-hmm. That's all I'll say.
It's tough.
It and emotions can be violently great, but it's a topsy-turvy kind of wookity-woo. And there she is.
She's making a break for it. Where do you think you're going?
She's trying to run out of the podcast, but she's carrying her.
I hear people on the street. I'm closing the window. Okay.
Oh, interesting. We thought you were trying to escape our podcast.
No.
So your first day, we can bounce wherever you want, but I'm just thinking your first day when you walked in there, you knew, was Tina already there? And other?
Yeah, Tina was there and Adam McKay was there, who I knew from Second City.
Yes. So did you just hang on to them a little bit? I mean, it's so nerve-wracking.
I mean, it's so, like, I was the only new person that year. Well, there was one writer that I knew too that was new, but I was the only new actor. So,
what year is this?
When you
what
get there,
season?
This is 1999. Okay. Yeah. So when you get there, so I don't know why I sort of thought there's going to be like the welcome packet. Here's what you do. You know, I don't know why.
The little envelope with a string on it.
I don't even mean like fanfare. I just mean like
anything.
Instructions or something.
Yeah. This is your room. Yeah.
And then like I definitely was like following Tina around like a lap dog, you know, like where do I go? What? But she had her own stuff to do. So but it was me and this writer, Ali Farinaki, and who we knew each other from Second City. And our office was like this kind of storage closet that they put
posing as an office.
But no, it was so we had each other, so that was good. But it's definitely like, you know, throw the baby in the pool and and see what happens.
It is
kind
a
of thing.
whole
I do that with
culture of
babies.
not really telling you what's going on or where you what you're standing in the show. Yeah.
But on the flip side, like SNL, like of course it's the dream job, as we all know. And my dream job moment was before that even happened. It was actually the 25th anniversary show. So that was my very first time. Like, even though I had no part in it, I was invited to come watch. So like I got swept up when I got there, like, get into hair and makeup, and here's this dress. And like, I was coming from Second City, like there was no hair and makeup or anything. So I had like full glam squad, and in the dressing room was Lily Tomlin and Elvis Costello and Dan Aykroyd. And that's my very first, and I was like, because Lily Tomlin, like I watched her when I was, 4 or something. Yeah. And Elvis Costello, so and Dan Aykroyd. So I was just like, I think I literally pinched myself. So, it is the dream come true. And then, it's like that plus thrown in the pool.
When you pinched yourself, did you wake up or was it not a dream?
It was all real.
Okay.
It was,
That's a wax museum to walk into those three. I mean, it spans a lot.
These are legendary, and it's a mix. It's a musical guest.
Music, boppity beep, boop. What was your first character you used to do when you were a little kid? What would you do?
When your dad was being a radiologist.
Someone did their Wikipedia
research. He could see right through you. No matter when you got drunk in high school, the radiologist.
Oh, right.
He would look.
Nice.
That's all I got, Rachel.
X-ray vision. I like it.
Take us back to 8-year-old Rachel.
Oh my God. So I was actually really shy when I was little. I don't know if either of you guys were. You were?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was pretty shy. And then I started
not David.
But my dad was really funny. So then in around junior high, I sort of became more of like the class clown type. And like my friends, my like gal pal friends were really funny. And then I used to watch SNL. Like I discovered it when I was in 3rd grade. And I would like make my friends stay up and watch it.
Wow, 3rd is a little early. That's good.
I know. So I had this friend who had an older brother, and like I'd sleep over her house, and he was watching. I was like, "What is this?" Like I didn't remember like the bee sketch. I didn't understand it at all. I didn't get that. I don't even know if I still don't. Yeah, exactly. But I was still like,
love it.
Oh my God! And like Samurai and Lisa Lubner, like all those. I mean, Gilda Radner, everything. Yeah. And so then I was just sort of, even though half of it was probably going over my head, I was just really into it. And I would watch it every week and make my friends stay up too.
And would you mimic them? Would you mimic
no, I wasn't like
stuff from it, or
it's so weird.
You weren't a thief?
I wasn't really this. No, I mean, I wasn't really like doing characters.
I know.
Yeah, I was just more like
just a funny person
into doing the school plays and stuff like that, and then like class clown school plays combo sort of thing. But I wasn't like a kid who was like, I'm going to be honest. I don't know if you guys were from a young age or what. But
no. No,
we were smart enough to think you couldn't ever get on SNL.
Exactly.
That was impossible from 495 Wellington. Do you remember the address of your familial home?
In Lexington.
Mine was 495 Wellington.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it still is. My mom still lives there.
We don't. So. Can we give that address out? And when they're not normally
and how
home,
do you get there from the airport?
If you want to meet Rachel's mom,
we should auction off a meet and greet at the end.
Exactly, she'd be into that probably.
I lived at 702 East Brenda in Casa Grande, Arizona. Take that, America.
Okay.
495 Wellington Drive. Home number, landline, 415-591-8128.
948-5888. Yeah,
I still call you on that number.
Oh, my number? Yeah.
So Rachel, you're a little kid and you fall in love with Saturday Night Live. And you're afraid to even hope at that point.
Exactly.
Like,
I was still kind of shy. Yeah. And then I was then in high school I did school plays and stuff like that. And
does it help your social life to be class clowny?
Yeah, I would say so. But I mean, all my friends were funny. Like I just
am I your friend?
Funny, you are, and you're very funny. No, I mean, I like this. Like they're still really. I still am in touch with these same women, and it's just. I don't know. We sort of have this comedy vibe going on, so everyone was funny.
I have the same thing. I have a lot of friends from high school. We ran track and cross country, but I was always doing characters or little impressions. I didn't really know I was a comedian, and I'm friends with them now. So they've been with you this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's cool when you have
Did
friends
some of
from
them get known and some went into different fields?
None of them were really into acting.
Okay.
They were just kind of funny
They were
little
normal?
quipsters, normal people. But fun fact, which I've actually said before, but Amy Poehler grew up in the next town over, even though we didn't know each other.
Really?
But we did work in the same ice cream parlor, but not at the same time.
Oh, that's ice cream
we both
parlor.
worked
Ice cream
at this
parlor.
place called Chadwick's. Which
Welcome to Chadwick's. What the fuck do you want?
Yeah. You want your fucking wicked ice cream? I can't do it, but I love when you
want
do
a
it.
That wasn't
cone?
bad.
I copy you. You said wicked pissa.
Oh, you're the one.
Wicked
Yeah.
I was watching the Boston thing with Jimmy, but
Yeah.
I always ask this question. No one has an answer, but go ahead. Finish your
What?
thought. I like to
Oh no,
interrupt
I
you
was
there.
gonna say, but then when I went to college, there was an improv group there, and I didn't really know what improv was, but I saw this group rehearsing, and I was like, oh, I think I could do that, So then that's how I kind of fully was like really into comedy when I joined that
Fun
group.
and scary.
So you had a moment in high school where you got a little confident somehow, like maybe I'm meant to maybe kind of do this? Because I was asked to speak for the junior varsity cross country team, and it came out kind of funny and stuff. I had little episodes like that.
You came out as church lady.
Well,
Did you? Was church lady like a rudimentary?
My mom actually made the dress from scratch when I was 5, and they would have me dress in a dress and prance around. No, that was much later.
Yeah.
That could be real.
I know. I
don't
kind of
know.
bought into it.
No.
Oh my gosh, I love the church. I just need to blurt out. Like I had this fan out thing
Blurt out.
of how much I love your characters and naughty parts and gorged and tingling. We would always quote you on that.
It always sounds funnier when someone does it. Is that what she would say? Naughty and gorgeous. It was such a pornographic.
Naughty parts and gorged and tingling.
That's because the censors didn't want me to say penis, so I substituted that. It was way more pornographic. Naughty and gorged.
amazing.
And an
Loaf.
older
Like,
woman
this is
saying
great.
it and almost turned on by it. It's like she's so focused
Exactly.
on it.
Well-
And she's a church lady.
That was a very lucky thing. I mean, for you, so you get you. We're going back for a second. So you join the college glee club.
Yeah, the improv group. But so I think what I noticed is, there were a lot of like in acting class or the play or whatever. There weren't a lot of people who were into being the comedy part, and like that was the part I always gravitated towards. Like when people say comedy's hard, I'm like, no, doing the drama part where you have to be crying your eyes out. Like to me, that's hard. It's like not fun.
I think it's
at
more
all.
overtly embarrassing to be that vulnerable. But when you're being
I don't know
funny,
how
you're in
people do
charge and kicking ass when you're funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kicking ass.
Kicking ass.
So so then I don't know, I sort of thought like, oh, maybe I could do I at least sort of I wasn't like I'm gonna make it, but I was like, I at least want to know that I gave it a shot, and then I can go back and have a regular job. I don't know if you guys were like comedy or bust, or did you have like, I just want to try this. But Dana, did you did stand up? Is that how you started?
The stand up scene, they started building comedy clubs on every block in 1979, right as I got out of college. I mean, there was no comedy clubs before that, so I would just play biker bars and delicatessens. But I said to myself, because it seemed like trying to be the president or the first man on the moon, literally, I'll try this till I'm 30 and see if something happens.
Oh, okay.
But then the club scene
was like,
exploded. What about you?
Well, I didn't do stand up at all. I just wanted to do improv and sketch. So I was like, I'll try it. So during my sophomore summer, we went out to Chicago because one of the guys in our group lived there, and I checked out Second City and Improv Olympic, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try Chicago after college and then just see how it goes. But no high hopes or anything. And so then that's how I went out there to try it again into Second City. It took a while and I took the classes and everything, but then eventually got in.
Well, what
City.
did mom and dad think? Because you went to Dartmouth, so you're a brainiac, and then you're in what's this? Second City?
Yeah.
What? You're prancing around in a little costume. Who the fuck you think you are? Get a real job. I mean, or they were just very sweet. That was my impression.
No, they were. So I mean, like I said, my dad was he was into comedy.
Okay.
He was very funny, so he sort of gave it this kind of reverence or whatever. So they were sort of like, go try. I don't know what their inner monologue was, if they were like, what the hell is she doing? But but no, they were supportive. And then like every year I made a little bit of progress, like I'd be on the house team at Improv Olympic or get into the touring company. So it wasn't like, instant success. Like most of us know, it takes a while. So it was sort of like incremental.
How did you
steps.
make ends meet, as they say? And it's okay if mom and dad gave you a little bit.
No, well, first of all, I was also interested in psychology. So I did work in a psychiatric hospital for a while.
Oh, was John Lovitz there?
He was
That's a joke, John.
There.
He was a patient for 9 years.
He was not there. I did that for a while because I was still sort of like, oh, maybe I want to be in psychology. Like I was still a little torn.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also temped for most of it. Oh, and I was a horrible waiter. I got downgraded at California Pizza Kitchen. I was locked into the bar back position. But
how did you blow it as a waiter?
I was mainly just a temp. I couldn't carry all those plates on my arm.
Well, bar back, you have to lift 60 pounds of a bus tub.
Oh, well, whatever. I was like the to-go girl, whatever. It wasn't a lot of manual labor. But no, mainly I was a temp. I temped and answered phones.
And this and that.
Secretary.
Did you live in like an apartment with roommates and stuff? Was it struggling?
Yes, I lived in a... I mean, Chicago was so fun because you could get this amazing apartment for like $300 if you had a roommate, and the apartment, it was just such a fun time. Like I moved up there barely knowing anybody. And then I was with all these people that now. I mean, we all were there together. And it was just such a fun time because like you'd go do your improv show or just go watch an improv show at the beginning. And then everyone would hang out together. So you were with all these funny people all the time. And it was
Adam McKay,
your whole world.
Adam McKay, Tina Fey.
Adam McKay, Tina, later on, Amy Poehler. And oh my gosh, so many people. Well, like when I was in the touring company at Second City, Amy Sedaris was on the main stage.
Wow.
And like Stephen Colbert and Steve Carell. They were on.
What happened to those
cast.
guys, Colbert and Carell?
I never heard from them again. But
break.
but I didn't like hang with them because they were the people you were like, oh, look at them. I was like behind them.
Well, Carell's like that. He throws his weight around.
Yeah.
Humblest guy ever. But
no, I was more with Tina and Scott Adsit, Jack McBrayer, Nia Vardalos. We were all kind of in the same generation.
Wow.
And oh my gosh, I'm forgetting like half of them right now. But everyone, Brian McCann and Brian Stack.
Oh, Brian McCann. Oh man,
like,
is he funny?
Conan. And
I did.
Don Glazer.
Another great.
Anyway, it was like, it felt like this sort of golden age. I mean, maybe everyone felt like that in Chicago
but
whenever
did
they
you
were
feel
there.
it at the time? Because I would think back later and be nostalgic for those early days. But at the time, it was sort of a struggle. But you were happy at the time, like I'm in the golden age, kind of.
I mean, it's so like this sounds so Pollyanna, but it was. I just remember being so like laughing so much at what other people were doing on stage. Like everyone had their own style and. Event like when you first get on the main stage, I was like really. Actually, SNL came through to scout when I first got on the main stage, and so then like I was, it wasn't like I was super confident when I first got on that big stage, So I was like definitely not what I'm saying right now. I was like, scared and improvising in front of this bigger crowd, everything. So anyway, they came through and they picked like all these people to go audition, but except me and like two other people. So, but I mean, now looking back, I'm like, okay, yeah, I didn't really have characters. I wasn't.
Did you know who it was?
I was pretty green. Who
they picked to audition? Did anyone get to the show?
Was it Marcy?
Yeah, so that year, Marcy. Yeah, I think Marcy was there. And that year, like they took Dave Koechner and Nancy Walls. I think
that's when I was there.
Steve Carell's wife.
I think, yeah. And I'm not sure if that was. I think that's the same year. But anyway, then but then I was on the stage for like 3 more years, and they don't come through like every year. They're coming. Like you never know.
Right.
So like they came back 3 years later, and then I was on, and then I had a lot more experience and a lot more characters, and then I got to go audition.
When you did, what was your happening characters that were popping for you?
Well, okay, no. First of all, I didn't get the job this year, even though
your second time around, still no job.
Yeah, second time. No, okay. Then the second time I got it. But the first year I did the Boston thing because Tina and I had done this Boston duo.
Can you do it? Because people loved it when they hear voices.
Oh yeah,
Could you do a little bit of the
my
Boston?
God. We were like,
a couple notes.
It's wicked smart.
Wicked Smart. Yeah, no, it was Tina and I. We were mother-daughter shopping at the Burlington Mall. And that was our initial scene. And then when I eventually got to SNL, we would write those together for, yeah.
And then you did them with Jimmy too. Yeah.
With Jimmy. Yeah. And then I didn't really do that many impressions, but at the time, like Ally McBeal was the big show. So I did Callista Flockhart for my audition.
How do you do her?
Yeah,
It's really kind of just a face, which you can't see on this podcast. But it's just like you turn your lip up and kind of look off to the side.
Oh, I see the up. Yeah.
And then you kind of stutter. What? I don't know. But like now no one knows that show. So it's sort of obsolete.
I know.
That's how I got on. Whatever. I did it on.
It is
SNL
a good weird one. That's a big point.
It's weird,
if you do difficulty. You're doing an impression that not everyone does. They look at that, they go,
You know what I did for so then I got to come back the next year and audition again. And that year I did talk about obscure, but I did Paula Poundstone and Rita Rudner.
What?
But I mean I don't really remember, like it's probably I haven't done this in like 20 years. So if I try it right now, it'll probably suck. But Paula Poundstone, she had this bit about like, so I opened up a box of Pop Tarts and there's 2 Pop Tarts in there. So now I got to eat both Pop Tarts. Like that was my
That
Paula
is good.
Poundstone.
I'm sure
lived
Dana
with Paula
worked with her.
Poundstone.
Oh, you
I
were-
was working with Paula in San Francisco. And she lived with my wife and I. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you have like a scrutinizer. Of
No,
Paula
that was
Poundstone.
Paula. She was an amazing comedian, amazing. She is an amazing improviser, and that's very much her. And
she did have a voice,
could,
yeah.
I went obscure. I went obscure for that. But then
love
I tried
that.
to
Could
do
I hear
more.
it just one more time?
Oh, so I opened up a box of Pop Tarts and I tried to eat just one Pop Tart, but there's 2 Pop Tarts there. Something like
You
that.
didn't do Rita Rudner,
great.
did you?
Rita Rudner.
No, you
Rita
can't
Rudner.
do Rita.
I
Well,
can.
so Rita Rudner, I tried this. I was like, all I remember is like, my husband and I went on vacation. That's all. But you have to have like your
When
eyes
my
really wide.
husband
So that's
said he
My
wanted to
husband-
watch the Super Bowl.
there you go.
I didn't know.
Something like
this.
that.
Yeah. I
Sounds a
opened
little
for her.
creepy.
But that's
So
a
I
more
know
facial thing.
She was
too.
good
Just-
though.
My opener went on too long, and we're having him beaten up in the alley.
She's very sweet.
I'm
You
kidding,
knew
Rita
this was
Rudner.
coming.
She was a great
These are-
stand-up.
These were stand-ups in the
You asked for
80s
it.
and 90s.
So you're getting the
anyway.
show off these, though, right? This time?
Well, I
don't tell me you don't
that-
get the show
I don't
this
know.
time.
No, I did get the show. I don't know if that helped me or not or hurt me, but I did get the show that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then it was me.
Then you had to
like
break
I
it to
said,
CPK.
1999. You still
CPK was crushed. No, by then CPK was long in my rearview mirror.
Okay.
And then I was just at Second City by then. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And how many years at
But-
Second City before you got an SNL? Just
well,
quickly.
I did,
6
like
years?
3 years touring and then 4 years on the main stage.
so 7
Something like
years
that.
of preparation. Just
Yeah.
for the young people who listen to the podcast. I'm going to get on it too. I'm going to get on
Yeah,
Saturday Night
hard.
it
Live.
takes a long time. Yeah.
Shut up, man.
Although
Rachel
some
did
people-
7 years.
But you know what? Like, I think Cecily Strong got the show like right off of, I don't know, from like Improv Olympic.
Charmed
like back
Life.
then, as
Mhm.
you guys might know,
Well, Cecily
back
is
then-
strong.
She's good.
she
Yeah.
sure is. But back then it was like just Second City and the Groundlings and then a few stand-ups, right? That's how
Mhm.
they used to
Yeah.
scout. And now
yeah.
it's much more like,
Where else do they go
there's
now?
the internet.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
They go like online. Yeah.
YouTube. and
James
Andy
Austin
Samberg.
Johnson. Yeah. The Trump
Yeah,
guy.
like-
Yeah. Just online.
There's so many more spots to be found now. Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
where are they up to now? I mean, when you went on, was it still kind of like 10 cast members with feature players?
No,
or
it was a
in
lot.
the teens, the high
was-
teens?
Yeah.
I feel like it was 20 back then.
Yeah, because
It
we
was
were
a
pretty
lot.
fat, Dana, when we left.
I started with 3.
Lucky.
No, it was 3
No, it was
women,
a
3
ton.
men, major players, and then a couple features.
Oh,
yeah.
we had a lot of people. Well, when I first got there, the women were Molly Shannon, Anna Gastart, and Sherry O'Terry, and
And
I'd always
Tina?
admired them.
Was
Well,
Tina
Tina
only
was a
doing
writer.
update?
Tina was just a writer.
Tina
she
was
wasn't
a
even on
writer.
Update.
Lawrence said, "You're not really a performer, but we're going to make you a writer." He didn't
guess,
say
even
that
though
to Tina.
I
That's
knew,
a joke.
like exactly, yeah, because I only knew her as a performer back in Second City, but yeah, so she was there, but she was just writing, and so yeah, there I was with those.
How did you bond
writers.
with Molly? She's kind of mean sometimes, right? I'm kidding.
Molly's a monster.
She was very
We've had
welcoming.
all 3 of those on our show.
Yeah.
All 3 of them. Very funny. And you would fit in great with them. Yeah.
I really liked, I mean, when you first get there, you're totally the freshman, so you're just sort of like, where do I go? But
here's your closet. There's a lot of props in there because it's also a prop closet, but that's your office.
No, they were all really cool. And it was like back then it was people like Tim Meadows and Colin Quinn were still on. And then when I left the show, it was, Andy Samberg and Bill Hader and the whole new crop. You know how there's always the revolving door.
So you straddled those 2 generations.
I've straddled all the generations.
Yes,
yeah,
and all the male cast members. But that's
exactly.
that's on Wikipedia. It's made up. It was anyway. But
I've straddled them all.
So, what was your first thing that sort of clicked where you thought you might stick around?
My first. What'd you say?
What scene or what update?
Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Well, it's so weird because you don't feel. I don't know. The first character I did was the Boston thing with Jimmy.
Yeah.
But it's not. I can't say that I felt like yes, now I've made it. Because you're always like, and now there's next week. There's always that pressure. But
and Rachel, is there a problem with what happened with my first thing? Is they don't know me well enough. So I did an impression, but they don't know that's different than what I sound like. So how good is it? Because maybe I just sound like that. So if you do Boston, maybe they just think you're the new Boston feature player,
Oh, she's just playing herself. That's not even acting.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You know what I mean? Because they go, oh, and then they see you in other stuff. They go, oh, she does that Boston accent pretty good because she doesn't sound like that.
Right.
But that was that scored. You were on before Update. I mean, it was kind of a.
God, you know what's weird? This is so whatever. I never even knew about it's better to be on before Update. That's how dumb I was. Even my, I'd be there later and someone would be pissed that their scene was moved down. I'd just be like, oh, I'm second to last. That probably means it won't get cut for time. Yeah. I didn't have this.
It's still in the show.
Let me get on. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I don't think
really
people watching know that it's bad.
They probably don't, except that they tune out.
They don't realize.
Go to sleep and stuff.
They
but they probably don't realize.
Yeah, they tap out after. It drops off after Update.
Yeah. Usually goes through Update.
I didn't really realize that was a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I don't know. The other thing was, I don't know the order that things worked, but
when did you do wah wah?
Oh, that was towards the end. That was like actually,
that's a code word.
That was
like
downer for those.
That was
people.
My 5th year there or something, but yeah, I did the hot tub thing with Will Ferrell.
Oh, right,
that was fun.
I watched that.
That was something that
last night. That is
people mentioned to me.
Very funny.
Let's talk about that because I saw the one with Walken.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was the first time we did that.
And he had a lot of lines, and I thought
shin she. Yeah, sorry.
I did a movie with Walken.
He's electric.
He was a little worried about lines because it's so bulky in the way he speaks that first he had to memorize them, which is hard. But at least he has cue cards. But goddamn, is he funny when he talks like that shit. And you guys were all sounding the same.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he was perfect in that scene. So no, this scene was these lovers characters that I did with Will Ferrell, and it was actually, the spark for this character came from a professor that my friend had in college. My friend said that she was not really going to do much for the winter break, and the professor said oh, that's a good idea. Just read a book, take a bath, eat a bonbon, spend time with your lover. And so we grabbed onto the word lover, and I'd been saying that for years and years. And then I don't know, Will heard me saying it and we wrote those scenes, but those were really fun. One thing I love about the show is that you can write in your scene, there's a hot tub on stage, and then you get there and there's a working hot tub. They make all your dreams come true. Yeah.
That is true. And when you do barf, one time we did one with Alec Baldwin where I think Fred wrote it, where we come to a crime scene and we're all cops, and each cop that comes up goes, get ready for this. They go, listen, I've been around. You walk up and they throw up when they see how bad the crime scene is. There's a car wreck. And then the next guy comes up and goes, Captain, you got to see this. And he goes, bleh. But they had to put it from your leg up through your arm. And there's a guy going, squeak, 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 turning it. And, and it's funnier because it's either too much or it's not enough. It drips out. And then that makes it even funnier. Yeah, we were like, give it full blast on air. Go crazy.
Anything that looks like a mistake and then people start to break because it's a mistake.
Oh my gosh.
Is irresistible.
So wait, that's another thing that I want to say. I mean, I know I had this giant break in the Disney World Debbie Downer thing, but I thought of when I knew I was coming on here because of course, before you're on the show, you love seeing people break. Like when you're just watching as a viewer. And then when you're on, like you really try not to break. I mean, I really would try not to, but I remember both of you guys, like the Chris Farley, the van down by the river.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh.
That was like one of the early breaks because
so fun.
We were still not supposed to. And so honestly worried about getting fired. And then, because, after you do a decent sketch, just for people at home, Lauren doesn't throw the headphones down and the Amstel light and run out and hug you. So you did it. Gap Girls is a smash, and spins me around while they go to commercial. So you walk by and he might nod or,
a thumbs up.
Yeah, nice. Didn't
good.
blow it.
You'll get them next time, but it wasn't terrible.
B+, which is good.
I love your impression so much.
We love Lauren.
Terrible.
So when that was Van Down by the River one was a fun one to break up in, but really, I don't know if I did it even ever after that. And I think Jimmy has the most on his resume of crack ups.
Yeah, no, you weren't like a frequent breaker. I just remember that one as being, because I mean, if I were there, I'd be laughing too. It was just so funny. Was it Christina Applegate?
Yes,
I can't remember.
I think so.
Yeah, and then Dana. I was thinking about I hope I'm right about this, but the head wound Harry,
massive head wound
Harry.
Yes,
and the dog ripping the thing off of you.
That was
Dana
so
Moore was more smiling, but everyone else was going bananas.
That was so fun.
The sketch was killing so hard, and we've told this story before, but they put more of the dog, the baby Gerber's meat food on the prosthetic, and they didn't feed the dog for dinner because Rob Schneider said, "How do we get him to really go crazy on air?" Well, maybe we'll do a light dinner and we'll put more on the thing. So the dog went crazy for it, but the sketch was going so well, and I loved it so much that I decided I really wanted to keep the thing on. So I put my hand on my temple. And then I was kind of smiling, but the crowd was going crazy because I was just riding the wave of an animal, an innocent animal trying to get food. You can't top that in comedy. So, but yeah, that was a lucky one. Did you have one of those?
Those were fun.
Something where someone else wrote it and you're riding this great wave that's just, it's just great when someone else comes up with it for you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, something that someone else came up with was this writer, Scott Wainio, wrote back when Angelina Jolie and her brother had this moment at the Oscars where they kissed or something. So then he wrote this character that was their love child. And so I came out with this like bald head with an arm coming out of my head and like drooling. And I mean, it was like I had a patchy bald wig. It was a total look. And he named the character like Caterpillar. Like it didn't even have any vowels in it. Anyway, I got to, and there was drool involved. So I got to come out as that. And then that character recurred in all sorts of like American Idol contests.
I saw an American Idol. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that was created by Scott Wainio, not at all by me. So yeah, that always really fun when you get handed this
and it's great when it's funny with the sound off. Just the image when you come out, they're already laughing. It's great when you get that connection.
Yeah.
Wow. So Debbie Downer, how many times did you do that? I know people talk about it. Oh
my gosh. I don't know. Maybe like 5 or something. But like nothing topped that first one where we were laughing.
Which was the first one?
It was Disney World.
Oh yeah.
And we started laughing. I still don't even really know why we started laughing. But then because I knew that camera was coming in so close every time, it was like the ultimate church laugh. And you can see my face like twitching. Like you literally see my lip going, yeah. Because I'm like trying so hard.
Well, everyone in it is just sort of staring down going, they don't want to even connect eyes with you.
Well, it's just irresistible. When they start to go, how do you not? I mean, with Jimmy Fallon and the hot tub one with you and Will, I mean, he really just went. He was just, he couldn't function. And at first I thought he was acting or doing something. And he was just trying to stop his body from breaking. He was sort of hitting his chest when he was in the hot tub. So Jimmy was, did you break?
But I think in that one, I think that Debbie Downer, like I actually was the culprit. Like I think because I flubbed.
You said something about China.
I said, it was like North Korea.
Yeah, North Korea.
I was like, the media is so sensitive there. And then I was like, so secretive.
Yeah, and that was the problem.
You know what? You guys might sort of feel this. Like, I sort of had a good feeling about, sometimes you write a sketch and you're like, okay, this is going to be good. And then it totally tanks, right? Yeah. Or whatever.
Yeah,
so
or opposite.
I sort of was like, okay, this could work probably, I think, but I'm not sure. And then... And then like, I was just so nervous about it working that then when I flubbed it, I don't know, it was like nervous laughter or something.
Well, you flubbing that and then you recover and say the right one. And then everyone's like, uh-oh, it's already the train went off the track a little bit. Yeah. And then it's already funny. And then they go, meep, meep. Like,
oh yeah. And
there's
then all
not the same noise. So now you're mixing up the noises. And then there's a meow, meow, or whatever. It's just all fucking
feline
funny.
aids. Yeah.
And so,
feline aids. Meow, meow.
Yeah.
But then I saw Thanksgiving one where you at the very end, you like look at the wrong camera. The turkey moves away and you're like, is it over? And then it's just fucking hilarious.
And then speaking of like ask and you shall receive, like we're like, and then the turkey gets up and walks off the table. And then there's the puppet guy making the turkey that springs up and like runs off the table. So yeah.
Which is funny too. You don't see it coming. I guess it's just us, turkey.
Yeah.
I used to do it. I bet somebody's done this, but I used to do like if a trumpet was my life, it'd be like, I don't know if that's like from Carol Burnett or something, but a smash cut of somebody like Debbie Downer with those sounds is like, did that kill at Dress the first time they did that? You can't not laugh. I mean,
yeah, no, that it did go well. Yeah. But I mean,
read through.
But then read through. So I wrote those with Paula Pell. And when we were trying to write it, we first put her like just in an office or something. And then we were like, this isn't really working. Like, wait, we need to have her somewhere that's like really fun and everyone's trying to have fun. Mm-hmm. So we put her at Disney. And then we kept making those trumpet sounds like just to each other, the trombone things. And then I think Paula was like, what if we put these in the script? Like, and so then people were laughing really hard at those.
Who did it at read through? Did you go, or did you bring a trumpet in?
I think we had the real trombone player there.
Must have killed it.
Somehow we had the real sounds there.
So in the sketch, do you have a real music playing? Like it's a real guy from the band.
That's a good God, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I think he recorded them for us, and then they had all these like
buttons,
one long one, quickie,
yeah,
like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it might be too hard to coordinate to have them do it perfectly.
I think they had their little buttons to press. Yeah,
because it's really funny. First of all, everyone's having fun and sort of saying corny dialogue about Disney World. Like Lindsay Lohan's like, I can't wait, konnichiwa,
right,
hola. And then you immediately take the legs out, and then that's funny. And then they push in on you. You make a funny face, and then they play a funny noise. It's just a combo.
But it was definitely like diminishing returns because then, like people got the joke, and like the later ones are like, okay, they're fine. But I do think like the concept, but the concept of it took off. Maybe more that like that Disney World one was the thing I get probably recognized most for, but it was more about the concept.
Oh yeah,
of like people coming up to me and saying, "That's my mom, that's my boss," whatever.
Oh yeah.
Than the actual
one escalation. Did you do one with a host? Because like it'd be funny if Chris.
We've done.
Yeah, next to Debbie Downer. I didn't see it.
Yeah, we did actually. Steve Carell. We did, and he was also I think he was like Bob Bummer. Like,
oh, good.
Like, we did like the mirror.
So
thing.
That would escalate it, but it's the thing that
but
people.
It was sort of like people. Then they know what's going to happen. But
I know.
Anyway.
Well, the truth is,
they know.
I'll always
lady.
have Disney World.
Church lady says,
church lady.
She's going to say, well, isn't that special at some point?
Special.
I know. Whatever. We did the best we could. But I'm just the age she is right now. I'm church lady's age right now.
God.
I was playing her at 31, but now do the math, kids.
She was ageless. Rachel, we did Bye-Bye. More people knew me from Bye-Bye for probably years, and it was we did it twice,
Oh, no way.
So they decide, and the second one wasn't even any good. It just the only one remembers is the first one.
Yeah.
And then it was too hard and you wanted to go back to the well, of course, but we did the end of the year. I went on a flight the next day on American, and they were all going bye-bye, but I'm like, wow, that fast. And then I tell you, for 10 straight years, there was not a flight where someone didn't say it to me. And then they said, my friend's wife is a flight attendant, and they play that at American in their flight training to say, this is what our images and we have to break this image. Do not act like this.
Wow.
You're not allowed to say bye-bye anymore. You have to say thank you. You have to say konnichiwa or whatever. You have to say thanks for coming. You cannot say bye-bye.
Wow, that's hilarious.
That's a feat to land a generational catchphrase with only 2 appearances.
Yeah.
David,
and the
I
second
think
one didn't even count.
Pretty impressive. Why didn't the second one count? Did you go bye-bye?
No, and it was with Steve Martin, the master of all hilarity, but
yeah,
we didn't service him that well. We didn't write. It's just the whole thing. We did it. It went away for the summer, and it had maybe higher expectations. We came back on the first show and did it, and it was really wah wah. So they should have had you come
Rachel,
out.
when you meet all these movie stars and athletes and stuff over your tenure, did you get to score with one of them? Or, I mean, it's kind of a cool, weird part of what you, because they'll say, William Shatner's down there, go say hello. Or Charlton Heston would like to, or Wayne
Say
Gretzky.
hi.
Would you go down to the office? This is on a Monday, It's a trip. Did you have connection with some of them, or who stood out for you?
Oh my gosh. I was always so shy around all the hosts. Like, sometimes they'd have those host dinners.
Yeah.
Like I was just such a null. Like I would just talk to the people I knew. And and then I realized afterwards, like, oh, I was probably supposed to be like talking to the host to make them more comfortable. And I was just so shy. Like I said, I was shy in the beginning, but like I was always like shy around Lauren and shy around the host. Like, and then like when we'd be standing there, you're standing there rehearsing the scene. And like, sometimes you'd just be like sitting there, like
alone,
waiting for them to, and like, I would see like Amy Poehler and Jimmy Fallon were so good at just like chit chatting with the hosts and famous people.
Hey, what are you doing?
Like they were just so good at it, but it was real. Like, not, that's just like their skill, and I would just be like, do, like looking around. And then I'd be like, so do you live in New York or LA? Like that was my only,
that was your go-to.
I had nothing to say. No, as the years went on, I got a little better at it, but the people that I would be really excited about were, like you said, like Steve Martin or the people that I grew up watching.
Yeah.
That was.
Were you a little starstruck when you first saw Steve Martin?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I was so, but I mean, by then I was a little bit more adept at having conversation with them. But yeah, like Steve Martin and I don't know, like I can't really think of someone that I was like, I have their number now. You know what I mean? Like that I really bonded with Tom Hanks.
By the way, just think of all the people that talk the host or date the host. You think it even crossed your mind to go, hey, let me just grab your number. We're really getting along in this one sketch we're in together. Yeah, what the fuck?
I don't know, maybe that happens.
John had every host number. John Lovitz. I go, how do you do that? I just ask.
For real?
I have their number, I do.
I would never.
Oh, yeah. He had everyone number. Is just very friendly that way. I was more like you, but were you ever, did a really handsome man come on the show and you're a little...
Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm sure like a lot of handsome men came on the show.
Because Victoria Jackson was always in love with Alec Baldwin whenever he came on.
love him. Oh my gosh.
Hi,
I mean,
Victoria.
I'm sure it was like so long ago. But then sometimes like someone that seemed really handsome, then you'd find out they were kind of like a dum-dum or something. And then that was a good lesson.
That happens to me.
A dum-dum. Did David host while you were there? I don't understand the dum-dum part.
Wait,
maybe.
No, so first of all, Dina, you hosted the second, because I looked this up because I knew you had hosted. I thought it was my first year, but it was my second year. But I don't remember if we did any sketches together.
I remember meeting you then, and I think as Will, Will did W and I did senior on a sketch, and he sat on my lap, and he's 6'4", 230. I still have lower back pain. No, but
Rachel,
that's why.
Do you remember doing a movie called Dickie Roberts?
Okay, I do, and I just rewatched the beginning of it before this.
You watched?
To refresh my memory.
David Spade hit comedy from 1990.
I loved Rachel.
Yes,
in it.
And then I got hit in the head with the elevator.
Yes,
and I had a big bump on my head.
And you were the assistant for Rob Reiner.
Yes, yeah, Rob Reiner's secretary. But I was thinking because you and Sandler and Chris Rock, like I got to hang out with you guys during. I mean, I did the movie with those two, and Sandler's just like such a mensch to me because he always brings me back in his movies. And you guys are always, and like you meet the generation ahead of you, and you don't know, how it's going to be, but you guys are so nice and welcoming, and
Well, we also
I know, it's like a
all
little
think
comedy
you're
community.
good, yeah.
Sandler is like
thank you.
it's a family. The Adam Sandler
Yeah, and
movie
then he'll have you back
company.
in
You will
Yeah.
always make a
Yeah.
scene better. That's
Yeah.
all you need to
Wow.
know. If you go throw her in there and it's pretty
Oh my
good,
gosh,
and if
thank
she
you.
says yes, it will be better. So she'll whatever she
You know
does.
you have that reputation of just when people mention you, oh, she's just so funny. I mean, they say it without, but you're consistently, don't you think, David, with
Yeah.
Rachel? Oh God, she's just funny.
Oh my gosh.
I mean,
that's
She's
nice.
got a good
I don't-
look. It's just funny. Oh, I have to
Thank
tell you
you.
something. First of
Yeah.
all, just a side note, you worked at Ruby Tuesday. No, you were a spokesman for Ruby Tuesday.
I did, yes.
And I
did
got
ads.
carded at Chili's.
You
I got carded at Chili's Day, and I told you about a
you
month
did
ago on the road.
recently?
Yeah.
A month ago?
That's a
A month
good
ago.
thing to get
That's
carded at your
amazing.
time on the
I would
planet.
love that.
But
my
I managed to
wife
see
carded me.
something interesting in Rachel's bio, and then I found a story about me out of it.
Oh, good.
I said-
we both have in common.
Yeah, because Ruby Tuesday and Chili's
Yeah.
are sort of the same
They are.
ilk.
They're the same ilk, yes.
But we have to.
They
I have
both
a
probably have
serious
nachos.
question for you.
Serious question.
Okay.
Okay. This is the serious time of the podcast.
We just asked Bobby Moynihan this. If you're at read through, I have a new one twist on this, Dana.
Okay.
Do you remember where you sat, and do you remember where everyone sat from the host going sideways?
Ooh.
Whoa.
Wow. Well, I remember where I sat.
Okay, that's a
I
start.
was
Like
next
if
to
you're at the
Seth.
doors and you're looking straight in at the windows. Lauren
Okay,
is
so
back
I
there,
was-
right?
Okay, so I was to the right,
Oh,
kind of like
Oh, the
kind of
right.
like far, but I was like far from the
from where
host.
Lauren
like,
was.
Like
Yeah.
okay, I never assumed that seat where the senior lady sits next to the host. Do you know
Right.
that was a thing?
Who sits there?
Did you know this? So there's a system where like the woman that's been there, I could be wrong with
Okay.
this.
So there's
Oh.
Lauren
Sits
and the
next
host.
to the host.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then like it would be like Molly or Maya or whoever.
Yeah.
But I was never there, but with good reason, because see what I said about the host dinner. Like I wasn't the person.
They knew you were a
I wasn't
dial
the
tone.
I was fine.
That was your nickname, Lauren.
Dial tone Dratch.
Put dial tone next to her and see if something happens.
Put her by the door next to the piano.
The host keeps talking to you. You just stare into space.
That could be a good character.
I
She's
don't want
dial
anyone to think-
tone. She doesn't speak to anybody.
Wait, I don't.
No
I
personality
don't
at all.
want you to think that I'm like not socially, but I will admit that next to really famous people, I'm not good at making conversation. So, I accept that. But anyway, I was
Well,
down near Seth and we had a lot of good times, actually, Seth. And
Read through is
Seth
fun
and
if
I.
you're with somebody you like over there and you're writing
that's
notes
true.
or something.
It was really fun with Seth. That's mainly what I remember. I don't really remember. And I think I was bipolar too. By Amy Poehler
Yeah.
as well. Yeah. So
We had someone on our podcast who's bipolar a couple of weeks ago.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
comedian.
I'm sure
Yeah.
there could be many.
You have to
There could be
listen to
many.
all 90 to find out, though.
Oh man.
We have a whole
900.
bipolar series.
Okay. Oh, one time, wait, here's a kind of a funny thing about the read through table. So one time when Johnny Knoxville was hosting, I twisted to like get my coat or something during break, and somehow I like sproinged my back, and
Sproing.
I don't even know what happened, but I couldn't move, and so then
Oh, God.
I had to like lie down on the floor. This is all during the break, when people are going up. And so I'm like lying down on the floor, like half under the table, literally could not move. And so then everyone comes back and like, they had called for some sort of NBC medic or something. And they had to continue the read through while I was under the table there, like frozen until the end of the thing. And
Wow.
yeah, that was, and Johnny
Who
Knoxville
helped
was
you? I
host.
thought you said Johnny came to your rescue.
I thought
and threw
Seth-
Well, he
50
tried.
Vicodins
They were like,
at
"Do you have any painkillers?" Exactly. You would
Yeah.
think he did because of his jacket, but he didn't have any. And so, anyway, but it was kind of funny because Dana, you could do the Lauren voice, but it was like I'd be reading my thing from under there. He's like, "Is Rachel still down there?" That. But that was
Make
my
sure
that was my big
Rachel's
read through.
okay.
Marcy, make sure
It's
Rachel
that thing of,
initiates
like,
this.
your back
waiver.
is predisposed to be injured. You reach for a napkin and suddenly you're on the floor.
that's what it was.
That's
It
what
was a weird.
that's happened to me once with a parking brake.
Did it?
Yeah, it just like went out.
Really?
Yeah.
But I wasn't like old then. I was.
I
don't
wasn't
know.
either. I was
I
really
don't know
young.
what had happened.
Stress.
But that was my strange read through. I don't know, highlight, low light.
David has some fainting spells. We've heard,
Really?
Someone threw a glass of water at Lauren's face once. Fuck you, man. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Oh, that would have been a good story though.
No.
I mean,
so no one has been under the table in that situation.
No, you're the only one so far I've heard about under the table.
So that's
which is
me
good.
on that. That's a read through story.
By the way, I like when he in the Roger and Virginia sketch in the hot tub when they say she has the when he has sex with Maya, he says she just lies there. I think it's Walken says Maya just lies there like King Tutankhamun in his tomb but makes the facial expressions of Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura.
Just lies there, like King.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, Maya was like, "You're all talking about screwing," and Maya's just sitting there going, "Why are we talking about this?"
She was like mortified. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No
she gets up and leaves.
whatsoever.
I remember we made up a sex act called Shin Shi. That's all I remember from that. I don't know. And Walken had to say it. I think it had something to do with an ear.
Walken
anyway,
can say anything. It's funny, right? Just
exactly
the pausing and the craziest talk ever.
Pausing and the whatnot.
No.
All right. What? Anything else for Rachel because she's so sweet to come on here and blab?
Well, I think you're an all-time great. Everybody knows you and loves you, and you're very, very busy. You did the Wine Country with all your bandmates, which is a really funny movie with all these superstar SNL cast members.
30 Rock, you play you do a thing where you recur as like just different things.
All time. I looked at the reel today. There's like a 2-minute blast of all your characters from 30 Rock.
I didn't even know that.
And it's hysterical. The Catwoman, her whole attitude.
Oh yeah, that was based on the SNL Cat Lady Wrangler.
Mm-hmm. Do you just call Tina and say, should I do this? This is a funny, weird one. Can you throw it in the show somewhere? Or does Tina say, what if you came in as this? Is just kind of back and forth?
Well, for that one, like she knows me so well. She's like, I'm having you do Liz Taylor in this. I'm going to do the cat, like, because she's seen my little,
oh, it's cute.
whatever. I don't know. She knows my
That's
my vibes,
sweet though. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then you go score.
So a mousy woman that doesn't want to do anything wrong is your favorite kind of attitude
That's
to play?
kind of a good go-to for me. Yeah.
And what did you do one of those on SNL? It would describe that way?
I don't know.
Just sort of insecure
I don't know, but I just like being that thing.
Well, Rachel, I say, Dana, that Deborah Downer, Disneyland is probably would fall in my maybe top 10 sketches. It's crazy.
Whoa, thank you.
I can't think of ones that really beat the shit out of it. You know, I'm like, if it's not, it's way, way, way up there in my. There's a lot of like just can't get that sketch just was a 10. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It just worked, and there's like a Massive Head Wound Harry or Bye Bye. You know, some are just they just work and they pop. And
Lindsay Lohan being innocent and cute in it. Oh, also the fucking the Hogwarts one.
Oh yeah,
wasn't that
the
where her
Hogwarts
boobs were huge and you guys were like,
yes,
what
that
the
was one
fuck?
someone
What
else.
did you do this summer? She's like, I don't know. And you're like, oh, you're like, her boobs are so big.
And I was Harry Potter. Someone else wrote that.
Was it Seth?
My gosh, I
maybe?
can't remember who. Maybe it was Seth. I think Seth
was Seth in it? Who was in it with you?
He might have been in it. Yeah, he was.
Because everyone's so perplexed, Dana, that Lindsay Lohan comes back and her boobs are so huge, and everyone's like, they can't talk about anything else.
Yeah. I think Seth wrote that.
I forgot that one is so good. Okay,
it's funny.
Anyway, that's all.
Lord.
Thank you for
Rachel
being here.
Dratch.
Mostly Dana, but thank you, Rachel.
David,
also.
we didn't interrupt as much as we normally do.
I think we did.
As I just interrupted.
No, you guys didn't. I felt like I was yammering on.
No, we want the guests
to
be
hear your
chatty.
stories.
No, we want the guests.
I know, but I like your stories though.
Well,
it really like. I mean, I don't want to get so cornball, but I just admire you guys so much. Like I'm like freaked out talking to you guys. Like I would be. I'm a dial tone talking to you guys.
Yeah,
you're up there for me.
That's so nice. But I will pass it back at you, and you must run into fans at the airport or wherever you are or at a restaurant, and they will fan out on you, right? Of
course.
And it is surreal, isn't it? Because they saw you on television doing what they want to do or just enjoying you, and it's the whole thing is surreal. I remember George Bush Sr. said to me, I can't believe I was president. It was surreal to him. Well, that's not a good thing. I can't even remember anything about it. What? No. But it's the same thing with Saturday Night Live. It's like a fever dream that I was on that and it happened. Then you go back and it's a little it's a little melancholy walking down that hall and seeing a picture of your younger self in a sketch with Amy or whatever, right?
Yeah. But I mean, you do have those bonds with those people. Like
that's the that's why
you're all in it together,
And that's the emotional underpinning of this podcast overall, is that it's a seminal emotional experience. It's a reality show in a way.
Yeah.
So when we hear
it's so true.
It's all common experiences and everyone has a different twist on it.
Yeah.
And a different time.
And I was thinking when I was coming on, like, why couldn't I sleep last night? I was like, SNL has like a lot of emotions attached, like
yes.
A lot of them are super positive, and then a lot of them are like, oh, I was so unconfident in that. Like, it's just all of life's emotions are wrapped up in SNL.
Yeah.
But
not
I mean,
as
overall,
much,
though,
not as much negative, just anxiety and like just bumps of like showbiz. It's just the way it is.
Exactly. Yeah. The bumps of showbiz. Right. But like you said, I mean, you have that group that you're with, and it's like no one else knows what that was like, in the best way.
Yeah, when you're starting a sketch, when the band's playing is about to start, and you see Jimmy Fallon in his outfit, or you see Will Ferrell with a beard on, or whatever. It's sort of okay. We're just having fun here. It does help having your peers with you in it.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's the dream. It is the dream.
You're a dream.
Rachel.
You're a dream.
Good segue.
Rachel,
Good
it's been such a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right. Have a great day. We'll see you sometime. Okay. See you around campus.
Okay, good. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been a podcast presentation of Cadence 13. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Available now for free wherever you get your podcast.
No joke, folks. Fly on the Wall has been a presentation of Cadence 13, executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Chris Corcoran of Cadence 13, and Charlie Finan of Brillstein Entertainment.
The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman, with production and engineering support from Serena Regan and Chris Basil of Cadence 13.